Righto, Rheed, we haven't talked for a few weeks now, and amongst lockdowns and a few other things like that. How's training been going? How's everything going?
It's going great, mate. Yeah, really. We're into that grind now where we're trying to find the right balance so that when the time comes to get onto the track for the race, we're 100% ready to go. But I think we're building really nicely. It's probably one of the nicest I've felt in terms of build
Preparation.
up. Yeah, mentally and physically. I think we're getting there. Yeah.
And look, I've been watching the swimming like probably 2/3 of Australia's been watching. They always talk about this tapering. Do you guys taper for something like this, or not really? You just sort of load up right till the end, or?
Yeah, and I think every athlete tapers differently. Our taper is pretty much starting now. Like we do those really heavy blocks into our medium blocks. Ours is about, for wheelchair racing, it's about finding the speed. It's about speed and reaction off the line, and that's what our taper entails. Essentially, we train all the way up until the competition, but it's just fine tuning little things.
So I'll lead you through a few dates here. So you have to go through your quarantine is pre-quarantine. So you've got a quarantine in Australia, not Japan. So 2 weeks of quarantine in Australia that starts next week.
Yep. So we do a home isolation, but for the most part, it's to the track for training and back home. Medical appointments, physios will be allowed, and we're still trying to work out if that includes us getting our groceries, or if we're getting all our groceries for 2 weeks. We should find that out probably today, the next couple of days. Yep.
Okay, and obviously multiple swabs, as you mentioned, so it'll be your nose that needs more training than anything else at the moment.
Yeah. You've got to have a negative COVID test 14 days before, and then there's a whole bunch before you leave on the 20th of August, which is the day we leave.
Yep.
And then as soon as you get into Japan, you're straight back in with before you're allowed into the village, more nasal swabs.
Yep. And as we mentioned, Japan have got a fast track method, so at least you don't have to wait 24 hours for a result. It's more like nearly immediate. So
and they're testing every day.
Yep.
So there's multiple tests before you get into the village, before you're allowed into the village.
Yep.
Plus you've got to have a negative test before you even get to the country, obviously. But then they're testing every day.
Your 100 meters heat is on the 29th of August.
Yes.
Final on let's be positive all the way through this. Your final is on the 30th, the next day.
Yeah. I go there with the intention to hopefully race heats and finals. So sure. I always put them in my calendar. I think it's a good way for myself for me mentally to go. I'm going to make that final. So
I totally agree. I mean, leaving here without having that mentality, it comes down to sometimes we fail before we start something, so that's great. And then the 3rd of August is your 800 heat, and then the 4th of August is the 800 final. So
yes,
4th of September is your
September. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
And then out of there on the 7th, so no time for sightseeing.
No. And then straight into hotel quarantine once we get back into Australia. I will say, just on this, just to sort of give everyone an idea as well, like some of these dates can change a little bit. Like there might, like this, and athletes will be flying out at different days. This is just for me personally. Yep. So this isn't the whole Paralympic team.
You quarantine in Newcastle, or you quarantine hotel in Sydney, do you? On the way back.
It's hotel quarantine. And I'm not too sure where. Most likely Sydney.
Yeah. Look, mate, obviously from our side of things, I'm going to say this multiple times before your race, but the best of luck with all your preparation and nose swabbing in the next couple of weeks. But mate, we'll try and touch base with you before you go,
Yep.
and also get a little bit of a mini tour of the athletes village over in Tokyo once you get there, and then mate, we'll be tuning in heavily for both of those races, or all 4 of those races when they happen. So
Awesome.
yes.
Yep. Looking forward.
Best of luck, and I don't think there's a whole lot of luck that you need right now because you've done all the preparation. So it's more, we can't even say break a leg these days, can we? In case someone accidentally does. So do your best. There you go.
Thank you so much. Thanks, mate. Thank you. And we'll be in touch soon for sure.
Okay. All right, mate. See you later, Rheed.
Thanks, mate.